Hello, everyone. My name is Cynthia. Today, I'm going to share my independent research with you all. Our topic is travel to five famous tourist attractions.
In the 21st century, people can travel around the world more easily than before. Traveling gives us the gift of seeing how small we really are in this world. We can travel to learn other cultures on the other side of the earth. As a quote from Danny Kate shows, to travel is to take a journey into yourself. Traveling can also make us face challenges and help us overcome the fears of unknown objects.
Motivation to know more about the five famous tourist attractions, to understand the perceptions of our classmates.
These are the purposes of our research. First is to understand the history and tourist attractions of Seoul, Florence, Paris, Dubai, and Queenstown. Second is to understand junior high school students' opinions of these tourist attractions.
Florence is a city in central Italy. It's located about 145 miles northwest of Rome. It's surrounded by gently rolling hills that are covered with vineyards and architecture. Florence, Italy built beautiful architecture museums and art galleries. It is the center of medieval European trade, the wealthiest city of that area, and the birthplace of the Renaissance. The most enchanting place in Florence is the Old Bridge. It was the only bridge across the Arno until 1218. In fact, the structure romantic appeal is that young lovers used to place love locks there.
Do you like adventures? If yes, Queenstown is the perfect place for you. It is known as the adventure capital of the world. Queenstown is located on the southwest of New Zealand's South Island, and it lies on the shores of Lake Wakatipu. Its neighboring towns include Arrowtown, Queenston, Wanaka, and Fiordland. Queenstown has a land area of around 8,704 square kilometers and a population of 48,300 people. Although it's not a big city, Queenstown has a wonderful history. Let's take a look at it. Queenstown was first discovered and settled by the Maori, the Aboriginals of New Zealand, around 800 years ago. According to Maori legend, Lake Wakatipu was formed when melting ice and snow filled an S-shaped depression left by the body of a giant creature. In the 1860s, European explorers William Gilbert Rees and Nicholas von Tunzelman discovered the area. They were the first non-Maori to settle in the area. Rees first ran a high country farm in the location of Queenstown's town center. But then, the gold in the Arrow River was discovered. Rees decided to convert the farm into a hotel named Queen's Arms. The discovery of gold brought miners, and they allowed Queenstown to develop quickly. The population also grew. However, the gold was gone in the 20th century, and the population dropped. Queenstown is no longer prosperous than before. Now, it has become a famous tourist attraction again. People don't come for the gold though, but for its natural beauty. As I said before, Queenstown is the world's adventure capital. You can do lots of outdoor activities there. For people who love thrills, you can enjoy some air adventures, such as skydiving, hang gliding, and paragliding. There are also bungee jumping and zip line activities. Come and test your courage. If you don't like heights, don't worry. Queenstown also provides loads of land activities. You can take a jet boat ride through the ravines of Lake Wakatipu. In the rivers, you can go whitewater rafting or river surfing. Everyone can enjoy the ride, from beginners to advanced. For those who don't like thrilling adventures, there are also relaxing activities in Queenstown. You can ride the Skyline Gondola to Bob's Peak and enjoy the sights. In the winter, you can go skiing, snowboarding, and ride a luge down mountains. It's also a great place to bike. Everyone can find a perfect trail for biking. Also, enjoy a canoeing or kayaking trip down a river or across a lake. Everyone, from little kids to elders, can have a great time in Queenstown. Come and enjoy adventures and fun.
Which is the most interesting city in the world? New York, Toronto, or Beijing? No, no, no. Dubai is definitely the winner. It's the most populated and it's also the capital city of the United Arab Emirates. Today, I would like to introduce you to this interesting city, Dubai. Dubai, the most interesting city, has the second most five-star hotels in the world and the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, which is over half a mile tall. Let's take a look at the history of Dubai. In 19th century as a small fishing village, the city grew rapidly in the early 21st century with a focus on tourism and luxury. The area was covered with sand about 5,000 years ago as the coast retreated inland, becoming part of the city's present coastline. There is an airport with the most international passenger traffic in the world, the Dubai International Airport. The history of civil aviation in Dubai started in July 1937 when an air agreement was signed for a flying boat base for the aircraft of Imperial Airways. To be the fanciest city in the United Arab Emirates, people can see a lot of special buildings and hotels. Burj Al Arab is one of them. It's located on its own island and is the world's only seven-star hotel. Guests might arrive at the property by chauffeur-driven fleets of Rolls-Royces or alternatively by an helicopter transfer service. The Burj Al Arab is quite possibly the most over-the-top hotel in the entire world, said by Michelin. The resort Dubai contains a lot of interesting things like Palm Jumeirah, Burj Al Arab, and the Burj Khalifa. Aren't these fascinating? If I had a chance to travel abroad, I'd travel to Dubai.
Taiwanese are very crazy about Korea, including me. Before the pandemic, according to a report from the Tourism Bureau, around 950,000 of Taiwanese people traveled to Korea in 2017. Because of their famous Korean dramas and delicious food, Korea has been a popular country to most of Taiwanese.
Seoul is the capital city of Korea. It's a population of 9.9 million people, and it's Asia's most livable city.
Gyeongbokgung Palace was the first and the largest of the five Grand Palaces. It served as the main palace of the Joseon dynasty. In the 19th century, Gyeongbokgung was originally constructed by King Taizhou. However, it was burned to the ground. The Gyeongbokgung Palace site was left in ruins for the next 3 centuries. Look, the massive palace buildings were reconstructed. The Korean government has invested much time and effort into rebuilding, restoring, and maintaining the palace for future generations. Next, I want to show you Anseo Tower. The Anseo Tower is the second highest point in Seoul. It was built in 1970 and is the first general radio wave tower, providing TV and radio broadcasting in Seoul. It's blue from sunset to 23 o'clock on days where the air quality is 45 or less. An exception to this is Earth Day. On Earth Day, lights at Anseo Tower disappear into darkness. Have you ever seen love padlock trees in Korean dramas? Locks of Love is a popular location for people to hang locks that symbolize eternal love. Securing the padlocks on the fence is filled with locks of previous participants. The key is often thrown away as a symbol of everlasting love. You can hang out a love padlock with your lover on the second floor of the M Plaza. Isn't it romantic?
Have you ever heard of Paris? Have you ever been there before? If the answer is no, please send me to introduce this most fancy and fashionable city to you. Paris is the most popular and the capital city of France. Paris has been one of the world's major centers of finance, diplomacy, commerce, gastronomy, science, and arts. It has sometimes been referred to as the capital city of the world or the city of light. Next, I'm going to tell you about some information about the most famous and interesting spots in Paris. First, if you like artworks, you will like the most visited museum, the Louvre Museum. There are many famous art collections in it, from French sculptures to lots of incredible paintings. The Mona Lisa by Da Vinci is the most iconic painting in the museum. Next, you must take a chance to the most famous tower, the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is one of the French culture icons and the most popular towers in the world. It is a 330 meters tall tower designed by a French engineer named Gustave Eiffel. There are millions of visitors there a year. After visiting these two fancy spots, you can take a look at these two beautiful buildings below. First, Notre Dame Cathedral is a medieval Catholic cathedral in Paris. It has colorful rose windows and decorations on it. More than 10 million people visit here a year. Second, the Palace of Versailles is the most famous castle in France. It was built in 17th century as a symbol of military power of France and as a demonstration of France's supremacy in Europe. Last, you can visit the most famous monument in Paris, the Arc de Triomphe. The Arc de Triomphe honors those who fought and died for France in French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars, with the names of all French victories and generals inscribed on its inner and outer surface.
Methodology. We search for famous tourist spots and make a questionnaire, and then gather the questionnaires, analyze the questionnaires, and make the conclusions.
These are the results of our questionnaire. Question number 1. Is traveling good for your physical and mental health? Most of the students agree with it, but there are still a few amount of people who disagree.
Question number 2. What tourist spots do you know? Most of the students know Seoul and Paris. Many students know Dubai, and over half of students know Queenstown and Florence. There are just some people who don't know any of them.
The table of question 3 shows that over half of the people, 68.5%, haven't been to any tourist spot in the questions. Among the people that have been to those spots, most have been to Seoul, 21%, and some of the people have been to Queenstown, 5%, and Florence, 8%, but nobody have ever been to Dubai and Paris.
The bar chart of question 4 shows that Paris is the most popular city and Queenstown is the least favored place.
In question number 5, it shows that most of the people know where the tourist attractions are located in our independent research.
These are our conclusions. For question number 1, we discovered that most of the students think traveling is good for our health. For question number 2, it can be found that most students know the cities Seoul and Paris. Fewer students know about Queenstown, Florence, and Dubai. However, very few students don't know any of those cities. In question number 3, it shows that over half of the students haven't been to any of those cities.
Among the people that have been to those spots, most have been to Seoul, and some of the people have been to Queenstown and Florence, but nobody has ever been to Dubai and Paris. The bar chart of question 4 shows that Paris is the most popular city, and Queenstown is the least favorite place. The bar chart of question 5 shows that most of the people know the geographical location of those attractions.
Sentiments, Akiva. I learned a lot about doing research with my teammates. Tommy, my teammates really helped me a lot. Dorothy, I learned about looking for the topic. Amelia, I improved my searching skill and my English. Cynthia, I learned a lot about using charts in the reports. Here is our reference.